Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York. And today I have the huge honor and pleasure of having Anitra from Say What Reacts on the channel. We're going to have a great conversation. Shout out to the subscribers, actually, for the recommendation and for helping setting this up. So, welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's
Thanks
my
for the
pleasure.
recommendation to the subscribers.
For real. Subscribers are the best, man. So,
Seriously.
for the people that may not be familiar with you, can you just give a little bit of insight into who you are and how you started and all the good stuff?
Sure. Yeah, I am. My name's Anitra. I have been doing my kind of K-pop reaction channel for almost 2 years. August will be 2 years. I just do K-pop reactions. I don't really venture into really anything else. But yeah, my I started because we were watching Netflix and I saw an
Okay.
ad for a show called Busted, and I was like, it looked kind of like a who done it murder mystery escape room type thing, and I'm like, this
Okay.
looks really fun. But it was Korean and with their subs and stuff, and I was like, hey, I asked my boyfriend, do you want to check it out? We binged the whole season, and we were like, who are these people in the show? Because obviously there's someone. So he looked it up and he's like, oh, one of them's in a boy band in Korea. And I'm like, really? I wonder which one. And it ended up being Sehun from EXO. And I just was like, oh, who are these people? And internet search. And yeah, I just kind of went from there. My channel started out being exclusively EXO only, me
Hmm.
introducing other people to EXO because I thought they were so amazing.
Cool.
Like,
Okay.
people needed to know about this. This was so wonderful. And then about 4 months in, my boyfriend was checking out everything else K-pop, and I was still just with EXO. And he's like, "Baby, you really need to venture out. There's so much out there." I was like, "Okay." So then I started reacting to a bunch of other people, and as you can see, I am a huge multi now. But yeah, just amazing music, and I fell face first down that rabbit hole, and it's everything. It's like my life.
That's fantastic. That's super fascinating, actually. So, I have not seen a channel that is designated to a certain genre, actually. And that's
Yeah.
actually, this is going to be a really interesting conversation because I think that's actually super interesting
So you
that
say
you,
designated to a certain genre. However, as we know in K-pop, there
oh,
really
teach
isn't
me.
just genres. It's
Okay.
every genre is K-pop.
Okay, elaborate, elaborate. What do you mean by
I
that?
mean, literally, these groups cover like
Yeah.
everything. Whether
Well,
it's, do
yeah.
you mean like specific type of like music? I'm assuming is what you mean. Like for
I
instance,
did,
K-pop.
but
Okay, okay.
actually, in speaking about that, actually, you're right because I've been doing a bit of BTS recently, and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, like their genre is like there's no genre, and people say, oh, BTS is the genre, and it's like
Yeah, people.
ah,
Yes, people always make that comment. Absolutely, but I mean, to be fair, like there's just K-pop in general tends to like these groups tend to cover so many different things. You have
hmm
EDM to like hardcore hip hop
yeah,
to ballads to R&B to just straight pop feel good songs. Like they're just all over the place, and all sometimes even within the same album. It's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I
Why
love
do you
it.
think that is in that? So in the K-pop genre, why do you think that is compared to, like, say, for example, like a typical a Western pop artist? You know, they
Well,
they
I
they release an album and it's this, and then
right.
maybe the next album it'll be slightly different. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
you're right. In the same album, you could go from EDM to hip hop to rap to R&B to singer songwriter, and
Yeah, you really can. And I think that's why K-pop is so popular because you don't really get bored. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like there's something
sure,
for everyone basically. And as far as I don't really know the why behind it, but I do know that, this whole K-pop thing started as a very like, kind of they were smart about what they were doing between the training, between the extensive, like,
mm-hmm,
just drilling everything. And this is why they are so
mm-hmm,
good at singing live, and they're so
sure,
good at their choreography and their dancing and performing on stage because they have trained for years for this. And I don't know, to me, it just seems like they've figured out a formula that just works for people.
yeah,
And it really does. And I don't know, because like you said, and a lot of times in Western, if you're a boy band back in the day, you were a pop boy band, and that was pretty much it.
yep,
You didn't kind of vent. They didn't have rappers in the group and stuff like that. So I think a lot of it just is just being smart about catering to a lot of people. I think it's a smart marketing, strategy of having multiple people in your group that can pretty much do everything, so that you can appeal to the masses. Why would you
yeah.
not want that? So
So interesting.
yeah.
It's so interesting. When did you start
hmm
your channel?
2018.
Okay.
Officially it launched like August 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, but I started watching, I dove into EXO like June of 2018, I think. And about 2 months in, I was like, I need to show people this because this is amazing. So yeah.
So, did you start as like how did you start? Like you started as a reaction channel or what?
Yeah, I started as a reaction channel because I used to watch back in the day before I even knew about like YouTube video like reactions and stuff. I used to watch like FBE back in the day of people like reacting to stuff, and I always just
Oh
loved
yeah, that was like the
that.
original like old people
Yeah.
react to Eminem, right? Like
Yes.
that
Yeah.
channel was
Teens react to or elders
fantastic.
react to.
I
Yeah. So we
loved
used to
that
watch
channel.
those. Yeah, me too. I used to watch those all the time and I loved them so much.
Yeah.
And then once I started getting kind of going down the K-pop rabbit hole, I would watch other reactors and I loved it. Like
Mm.
I just, and I think that's the whole reason why people love reaction channels is they love, number one, sometimes we don't always have someone at home who loves the same things we
Oh
love.
my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
funny you say that because I literally 3 hours ago, a couple hours ago, a little longer than that, had an interview with somebody else on YouTube, and I had never heard like that mentality, and that's exactly what he said. And
It's true.
I like people have like because I've done a lot of reactions on the channel. People have said like that are not familiar with it, like don't understand it. And I'm trying to always like it's like music because I do a lot more production style talking. Like I
Yeah.
break down the stuff. And I say, oh, it's like music commentary. Like you're essentially like a music critic, but I'm also educating. And like, but that guy, who Josh Binder, Josh Binder. I don't know if you know his channel or not. But he said the same exact thing, and I've never heard that. And it's such a great way to explain it. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah. No,
that is
no, you're
such
good.
a great. That's so funny you say that. That's the second person to say today to say
It's
that.
true though, and there's so many people, so many DMs I've received, and I
Yeah.
go live a lot. I know a lot
Hmm.
of YouTubers, they never used to. I see some of them are starting to do more so now, but
Hmm.
I go live all the time. Like every Saturday, I go live. We have tea time. We get into a little, say what needs to be said about certain things, and but then we follow it up with positivity
Okay.
afterwards to make sure we always end on a positive note because that's very important for us. So we have a lot of people in the chat, and even when I'm doing reactions and a lot of DMs that I get, where people will express, I literally have no one at home that I can talk to about this or share my excitement with because like they just don't understand or they'll make fun of me. I have people who've reached
Mm.
out to me about like their parents constantly like, saying horrible things like throwing homophobic slurs around or racist slurs around because of the groups that they like and they just don't get it. And they're like,
Mm.
how do I say this to my parents that this isn't okay?
Hmm.
And they're making me feel bad, and it's I'm just glad that they can go to reaction channels and at least feel a sense of being able to share with
Yeah,
others, you know what I
it's
mean,
so
that same excitement.
fascinating.
Yeah.
That's so wild. I like today after. I mean, look, I have like 2,000 reactions on my channel, so I've been doing it for a
Mhm.
while. Like, but the funny thing is like my mindset's completely shifted on it after that. It's so funny how like like
Yeah.
I just am so fascinated by that whole mentality. Like, it's such a great way to explain it and also think about it.
Yeah.
It's such a new revelation, I guess you could say, is the best way to
It
explain it.
yeah, it is. And it's crazy because like every time you react to and you start getting into like a new group that you've never noticed before. And if you
Uh-huh.
like them, obviously you check them out more and more. And and it's like you're introduced to this entire new fandom, this entire new group of people.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's just beautiful. And especially like for instance, like I said, I'm a huge multi-channel now. I mean, yes, EXO are my ults, BTS are like right there with them,
Hmm.
but I am a huge multi-channel. And even though there are so many different fandoms on my chats and in my lives, like talking back and forth, like
Mm.
there's just a mutual level of respect that we maintain on the channel. And the
So let's go
second
into that a
someone,
little bit.
yeah, the
Yeah.
second someone violates that respect, they're warned, they're put in timeout by either me or the mods. And if they continue again, they're getting blocked on the channel. We don't play. This is my
You
subscribers
go
have
straight for
called
the
it.
block. That's why. Good for
Oh
you.
no, I don't play. And my subscribers have actually called it our safe place. No,
Sure.
safe space K-pop place is what they called our channel. Is the safe space K-pop place
I
because
hope that you have merch for that. You
I don't
need merch
yet,
for
but we
that.
are working on
You
it.
need
We
it.
are working on it. Yeah. But and I just love that because
Yeah.
they feel safe just
Yeah.
talking about their opinions, and it's fine if people don't have different opinions. There's no problem with that. We're not all going
Hmm.
to think the same, but you have to be respectful. Yeah, that's all.
100%. I
That's
love
all.
that.
That's all I say.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you or your subscribers find the balance of like disagreeing opinions while also staying kind, I guess I mean that kind of answered it right there, but like
Yeah, I mean,
if you have an
and
opinion.
that's just it. I mean, some people will, uh, I mean, I've had a couple back and forths in the chat or on comments. You know, you have like this comment stream that just continues back and forth a bunch. And I'm just like, do I step in? Do I not step
Hmm.
in? Like, obviously I'll step in if I see that it's getting disrespectful. I'll say something like, okay, guys, we need to cool it. We actually started a thing on the channel based on something that's happened in the past and craziness that ensued. And I was like, we're not dealing with that going forward. We need to figure something out. And we've agreed we're going to actually, we use the word reset. Okay, guys, it's time for a reset. And at that point, topic's done. Topic's done.
Wow.
We're moving on. We're not going to talk about it too more. This is getting too serious. People are getting upset. We're agreeing to disagree. We're going to reset. Let's start forward. Let's move on to the next topic.
Wow.
And I just think it's just a way to acknowledge like, okay, we're not all going to agree on the same thing, and there's
And it's
nothing
not
wrong
worth
with
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna have different opinions, and it's starting to get a little so let's take it back a notch. Like let's cool down, let's reset, let's go on to the next thing.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that, man.
It's been a lot of development in our channel over the years, and just trying to be just a more positive thing for people, because unfortunately, when you like K-pop, a lot of people judge you, and it's not in a positive way. And I'm an older K-pop stan, so just for that alone, I get judged. So yeah.
Well, I just recently watched. This is now a little bit more towards BTS, but are you familiar with the channel X Celeste?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, if you're a BTS army, you know X Celeste.
Oh, well, I'm still working. I'm still new. I'm still. But I just I just watched this is her, I think it's her, so her this is BTS intro to BTS. I just learned that I think the majority of them are in their 20s and 30s, and that blew my mind.
Absolutely.
That was if I took anything out of that, that was the thing that blew my mind the most.
Yeah, and if you'll notice, I don't know, I haven't looked at your comments on that video, but a lot of times when you watch reactions that talk about it, or when you watch videos and in your reaction you talk about it hits on the age bracket that is actually the most popular. You would think it's teenage girls, it's actually not. You'll find a lot of people in your comments saying, I'm a 65-year-old army, I'm a 53-year-old army. I don't know if you got a lot of those, but you will get a lot of those, like, you know, like we're out here. I pray this isn't made up. It's an actual thing.
So it's fascinating. I love it. I think it's so cool, man. A question from a subscriber is, what are some of the artists that you have on your radar that you haven't done any reactions to yet?
Jesus. Okay, that I just haven't done reactions to, like, at all. Or like that I've done a couple.
Or like that you're considering. Okay, either both. Either that you're considering, like I've heard a song, but like I want to get into them a little more, or I've done a reaction and I want to do more because I want to hear more from them. Either.
Okay. Okay, so I try to check out a lot of groups on my channel, but I work a normal Monday through Friday, like 9 to 7 job. It's I have long working hours, so this is literally So this is.
Can I ask what you do?
Yeah, I'm a vendor accounts manager for our Planet Fitness franchise.
Wow,
so
cool.
So I manage a lot. Like we have like 9 locations. So basically I just manage all of the ins and outs for those 9 locations, and coordinate everything with the vendors and construction when we build new ones and stuff. So yeah, it takes up a lot of my time. But so this is literally what I do with almost all my spare time. Because as you know, it's not a quick thing to do YouTube. I think a lot of people think that this is a very quick thing. It's not. It's very time consuming. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So the groups. Okay.
No, that's fine. Keep going. We're having a conversation. I love that.
That's okay. I do have ADD, so it'll kick in every now and then, and I'll just like start talking about something else. So you got to reel me back in. But okay, so to focus on the group question, groups that I want to get more into, that I've started getting more into, are like 17 and One Us. I'm starting to get more into because like these are groups that like I've just now started to do their guides, and I want to full on get into their discographies. I want to start checking out 17's reality show because I heard it's hilarious and it's a great way to kind of get to know the actual members, personalities and stuff, because I think that's very important. And since there's 13 of them, do you want to you want to check out more
Wow.
like reality type of stuff? Yeah. Let me
That's
tell you, learning
wild.
all of these people's names, let me tell you, and all of these different groups, it's crazy. But as far as groups that like I've only maybe checked out once or twice that I want to continue further getting into, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss somebody, so I apologize ahead of time if I don't mention someone. But Astro, I know, is on the radar. Victon is on the radar. Vanner. Newest. On and off. SF9, because I'm watching SF9. Oh, and the boys. I'm watching them on Kingdom right now over on the Patreon. So I definitely want to get more into their stuff because they seem great. Even diving more into Icon's old stuff, because I've only reacted to Icon's a few times. Blackpink, maybe. I know. Okay, so a lot of people ask me this. Why don't you react to girl groups? People ask me that question all the time. And it's not that I don't react to girl groups necessarily. I'm not opposed to reacting to girl groups. I just prefer the sound of, I think, a boy group. And that being said, I'm not trying to generalize because I know that there's so many different sounds and concepts that girl groups like bring. But I think literally when I say sound, I mean like tone of voice, like sound. Like my alt is Chenyol and he has a super deep voice. He's, so it's just, I think that's just the tone that I tend to gravitate towards and kind of latch onto. Plus I was a dancer like my whole life. So I just like very intense choreo. And typically you'll see that more in a boy group, not saying that there isn't any in girl groups, because there definitely is, but you see it more common in the boy groups. So I don't know. I tend to just gravitate towards that more.
Why do you think that is about the choreography?
I don't really know. I think that for some girl groups, and once again, this is not all because they do have different concepts, but I think for some girl groups, especially maybe in the younger generation or the older generations, they have a lot of cutesy concepts. So I think because of that came like cutesy choreo. And now I think you'll see now in like the newer generations, the concepts are changing. They're becoming like more, complicated or more intense or darker. And they're bringing it more with the choreo. And it's not all this cutesy bubblegum girly pop type of, stuff that maybe it used to be more of. It's evolved from that, and they're definitely doing way more now, I think, than and they're kind of just they're getting up there and like trying to be like, the boys can't just do it, we can do it too, you know what I mean? And I love that. But it's still, I still prefer the guy groups just because of the tone of voice. Really, it's really what it comes down to. But I do like Blackpink. I know I've started to check out Mamamoo. People always ask me to check out Dreamcatcher because they have a darker concept, and there's a lot of people. And Sumi and IU are the two individual female singers, K-pop singers that I actually really like. So Sumi and IU.
Okay, let me ask you this: how good has your Korean gotten now?
Awful. Like, it's so bad. That being said, because of my job and because of this, this channel and doing the channel and going live and chatting with people all the time and stuff, it's not like I spend a lot of time actively trying to learn it. If I actually spent the time actively trying to learn it more, I'm sure it would get way better. But yeah, because I haven't actively like really, really dove in and tried, it's just still crap.
Yeah. So one of the things that is amazing is you were telling me before I've been calling it the backstage, like the 3 minutes before we actually chat, that all the stuff behind you, it has been sent in by subscribers.
Most of it, yeah. I mean, there's of course like there's light sticks and certain albums that I've purchased and stuff, but honestly, and I can turn. This so is wild. Like, I mean, the flag actually was a present for my boyfriend, but yeah, it's and even like I collect mugs from around the world from Starbucks, and cool. Because there's it's called like You Are Here and Been There series, and you can get them at various places. But honestly, it's crazy. Like I'm just a me. Like, why do people want to send me something? Like, it's just me, It's
my gosh, it's such an honor.
It really, like, the amount of times I have cried unboxing stuff on my channel is so embarrassing, but they're just so thoughtful. like I lost my pet, which is
Oh,
like
I'm
my
sorry.
everything,
Sure.
about a year and a half ago. And I mean, I had people sending me, he was a little wiener dog, and I had people sending me um like things like with him. I have like a necklace with a little wiener dog on it. I had that was a gift. I had
Oh
like this
wow.
like little
That's
ceramic
so
thing, which is
amazing.
like a wiener dog, but he's like covered in angel wings that someone sent
Oh
me, which just of course made me bawl my eyes out.
yeah.
I had someone commission an artist to draw a picture of him from a
Oh my
photo
gosh.
that someone sent me.
Wow.
I mean, it's just beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, and,
Wow.
and I'm and I of course and I'm just bawling my eyes out on camera like all the time, and I'm
Sure.
like, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
But it's just, people are just so beautiful. They have such amazing hearts, and they're so generous. And like, and I always say this on my channel, like I'm literally like tearing up just thinking about it. Oh my god, okay, I'm such a crybaby. But I always say this on my channel. I'm just like, just saying thank you just seems so stupid compared to like the amount of
Oh
love
my
I've
gosh. Yeah.
received. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's just not enough. Like,
Yeah.
thank yous just sound so, it's just not enough. But,
I
and of
I
course
understand.
you have them in the chat coming back and saying, but you spending the amount of time that you spend just talking with us and giving us entertainment is,
Yeah.
is, is what we receive. And this is us saying thank you back. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I get that, but I just feel like I don't deserve it. Like I don't, it's just
Yeah, and
a weird
it's
feeling.
funny, like, you know, you just feel like a normal person. And I'm not,
Oh,
you and I are not like the Casey Neistat where we have 10 million subscribers, but it's
yeah.
like, even still, like, I think it's just, you're still normal. You just, like, I was just literally, until 4 minutes before this interview, I was folding laundry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah. I was finishing up my work day.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, so when at least when you feel like when you and I feel like that, when people, then go out of their way to do something nice for you, it's like like it blows my mind.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's crazy. But that being said, because they're so beautiful and they're so generous, like I have more stuff than I could possibly do anything with. And
Mm.
so like every single week on the channel during my like tea times and stuff, we always do giveaways. Like I have an abundance of merch that I've received that, like, I mean, let me see if I can show you. Do you see my closet?
Kind of,
Do
yeah.
you see all of those albums?
Yes.
Those are all giveaways. They're just waiting for a
Wow.
giveaway. I have
Wow.
the amount of sorry, like looking into my closet, but whatever.
That's
But
a
the
great
amount of
closet, let me tell you.
I had to put shelves in there, like, and I have like all
Wow.
my shipping stuff on the top shelf, because I host, like, I do giveaways. Like during Christmas, we did the 12 days of giveaways,
I love
where I
that.
give away a different album every single day. But the subscribers are just they've donated these albums, and they're just so beautiful, and it's allowed me to give back to everyone as a thank you. If it's just a photo card, like
Yeah.
I have this, like, let me show you. I have this little miniature filing cabinet, but it's literally just, it's the photo cards from the different groups, and it's
What's a
just.
photo card? Oh no. Oh no. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
The subscribers are gonna be like, dude. So a photo card is basically, I don't even know what group I'm about to pull. Okay, this is EXO. So a photo card is literally just a photo card of a
Okay.
member from a
Okay.
particular group. And as you can see, I have them categorized by,
But is there
like,
anything on the back?
sometimes if it's an official photo card from an actual album, then yes, there will be like information on the front and the back. Like, for instance, this is one from NCT, so you have this, and then you also have like that on the back. Sometimes
Oh
their
wow.
signatures will be on the back, with like a little like note, like, saying something to the fans. But yeah, so it just depends on if you just have like the ones you can buy off of like Amazon, or the ones from the actual album. So like every album you buy comes with a photo card.
So I guess
Or
that's unique to K-pop then, because I've never heard of that before.
actually, have you never like seen like an actual like K-pop album?
No.
Okay, so you know how like in Western culture we have like CDs, or like, and it might come with like a little book with like a few pictures in it, and
Sure,
that's
sure,
kind
sure,
of
sure.
it, and, like the lyrics. You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
That is so not the case, and
Okay.
this is why they sell so many. Like, Okay, I'm gonna take this one because it's like literally one of my favorite albums. So this is like EXO Power of Music album, right?
Okay.
And so in this is literally, and each album will have a separate concept. So like whether like the photo shoots have a certain concept, this one has a comic book concept. So like literally like each one will have like the member, and you get like their photo, and then on the back it shows like their superpower, and you have one for every single member. And then
when you buy the CD, all that comes with is like a special package, or just that's the CD?
Yes, no, this is just what it is.
Oh my gosh,
like,
that's wild.
Map of the Soul. So like this is BTS album.
So if I went on Amazon right now and bought the BTS, oh my gosh.
So this is the CD. So this is what you buy it for, right? The CD? No. So there's the photo card. That's JK photo card. You have this. This is like the lyric book and stuff inside of it, where all the
it's like a novel. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
this is the notes, which is part of their storyline. It's they even included a coloring page if you wanted to, color your own 7 from the front of the album. And then inside of it you have an abundance of like photo, like in this one in particular, usually it's a book of pictures, but in this one in particular, it came with just a huge amount of individual posters. So you can literally, it's just a huge amount of individual posters that came with the album.
Me as a marketer, like musician so I'm a musician myself, and like I'm trying to get my music out there. I'm seeing like dollar signs of like, oh my gosh, this must have cost so much to make. It's
but
like,
you don't understand the amount of things they sell. It's insane.
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's like to get past, once you get past that mentality, it's like you're right. It's like if you can get past, okay, yes, instead of this costing 13 cents an album, it's going to cost us $9 to make this. You know, or you maybe even more, and then to ship it. Oh my gosh! But like, like if you can get past that, yeah. But even if you get past that, you like the fact that we're even having this conversation right now. You know what I mean? Is the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's so.
Like, and if you notice this one, you notice they pulled it from. There's 3 others that look just like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's 4 different versions and different photo concept for the one album. So the CD will be the same for all of them because it's all the same music, but there's 4 different photo concepts. So those posters will look different in each version that you buy. So yeah.
So I have this might be a controversial question for you.
Okay,
this might be a little controversial.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. What's up?
I just learned about the Billboard charts, right? So like, did you see that thing in XLS thing? So
yes.
I didn't know about that. How they would like tie merch with with the stuff. Now, when I heard
some
that,
K-pop groups do it and some K-pop groups don't.
But I was about to say, like, I assumed that they were just selling the CD. So this might be controversial. Is that right there any different than really bundling it as a merch, except they're not really telling you it's a bundle?
No, because they are actually selling you this individual item. It's not like you're buying this album. It's not like you're buying a T-shirt from their website and you're getting.
And it just comes with a CD.
Because that's what it is. Is you'll buy a concert ticket and the CD will come with it for free, or something like that. And usually when that happens, it's like a smaller version. Yes. It's like a smaller version of this. It's not usually the full album, but that's how they get away with the bundles. Is you buy a T-shirt, you buy a mug, you buy a bag.
My wife bought me Sam Smith tickets or Ed Sheeran tickets, and if they came with
the album with it.
With the album, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
That is a bundle. So it's not the album sale itself that's a bundle. It's other things that come with an album. That's the bundle. Yeah.
I see.
And like I said, some groups do it, some groups don't.
Yeah.
I didn't
BTS doesn't do it. It's wild. Hold on one second.
It really is.
It might be. My computer's been really odd lately. It's been lagging on and off. So I apologize if we're lagging.
No, you're fine. It lags for like a second, but then it's fine again.
I don't know what's causing it, so I apologize for the viewers, but it'll probably pick up in a second, be fine. So, what would you say to somebody that is just starting off their channel? If they want to start a channel, what would you say to them?
Okay, so I actually, I feel like not a lot of reactors do this, but I watch a lot of reaction channels. A
Oh,
lot of
that was
small
gonna be a
reaction
follow-up
channels
question.
too. Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah. No. Go for it.
But yeah, I always, because I know the struggle of what it was trying to figure out things on my own over the last couple of years. And you pick up little things, you kind of pick up, oh, YouTube does this. If you do this like this, oh, it'll do that. If you do that. And you kind of pick up little things that are the do's and the don'ts of loading onto YouTube, loading a video.
Like what? What would be an example for you that you could give?
For an example, album listen. If you want to do like a full album listen, I've noticed lately it's kind of a thing that YouTube started doing. Anytime you react to more than like 5, maybe 6, but usually around 5 songs from the exact same artist, it will, I think it's an auto detection that happens. And so like will auto detect that multiple copyright claims are happening on the same exact group for the same exact, like, production company or whatever. And so because they get it back to back to back, it just auto blocks everything. Yes, but if you hashed that reaction and you uploaded part 1 and part 2, it'd be completely fine. So I've noticed, for instance, when doing album reactions, I will never react to more than like 5 at a time. And if there's 6 and I don't want to have to split it in 2, then I'll just make sure I pause the shit out of one song. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can cuss. I pause the heck out of one song so that one song will get away with not detecting, but the other 5 will. That way I can still post it and not everything will get blocked.
Do you still dispute your claims?
Not copyright claims. I think that's another thing that people have. When people want to get into reacting, I think that's like a false sense of knowledge that they think they have is, oh, I'm going to start doing this and I'm going to get all these views and I'm going to make all this money. Honey, you don't make nothing. Like, everything, when you react to music, this is other people's works of art. You don't own this. So almost like 95% of anything you react to will get a copyright claim, and rightfully so. It's not yours. It's theirs. So I don't dispute my copyright claims because it's not my music. Like, I didn't sign up for this to make money. I did this because, I have a full-time job. I did this just because I just really, really wanted to share with other people how amazing this was. And it just kind of became this from there. So I'm not really worried about the whole copyright thing. That being said, if there's a block, sometimes I'll try to dispute the block. Yes, because obviously a block means no one can watch it.
Yeah. And after the block, it usually goes live after 48 hours until they respond.
Until they respond and then block it again. And
yeah.
Sometimes you just, and it's actually funny that you said that, because my tea times on Saturday, I'm a talker and I chat with my people for a very long time. Usually they last about 6 to 7 hours. I'm not even joking.
You're the second person I just found out does that. That's a long time.
Yeah, it starts at about 1 p.m. And my time, of course. And we usually end around like 7 or so. Sometimes 8, sometimes 9, but usually around like 7 or so. But yeah, it's my one time to like just talk with everybody and chill. And we talk about all kinds of stuff. Like, we play music. I have Song of the Week, where we do like a Song of the Week reaction that my boyfriend suggests every week, because he listens to all kinds of K-pop.
Okay.
As opposed to me, I can only listen to what you see me reacting to, and that's it. So yeah, we do, and of course we do the giveaways every Saturday. We do unboxings, we do the tea time, then we do the positivity time. So yeah, it's a lot.
Positivity, that's cool.
Yeah, the tea time, and then positivity. We also have positivity on my channel, where when we react, I pause, because we want to celebrate what's actually happening and not just skim past it, but we want to appreciate the lyrics and the visuals and the concepts and the notes that they're hitting. I think it's so funny when people complain about me pausing. I'm like,
I don't get it.
This is a reaction. This isn't hey, watch me watch something. This is a reaction. Therefore, I am going to react to what I am seeing. And honestly, I personally feel, with the amount of work that these groups put into what you're seeing on the screen, the most you can do, just out of respect.
It'd be a disservice.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like, wouldn't you, as a fan of that group, watching someone react to them, appreciate the fact that you're pausing and you're actually paying attention to what you're seeing?
And the funny thing is, I feel like it's like these like super hardcore fans that are one of the ones that you're into, like that are. Now, this is not related to K-pop at all. This is like just in general that they're the ones that get offended. Like, you're interrupting the queen of pop, you know, and it's like, but like, what are you here for? I don't
Go
get it.
stream if you want
For
to just hear the
real.
song. Absolutely, 100%. Go stream your artist. That's wonderful. But you came here to see a reaction, and therefore I will
Yeah.
be reacting. I know, I don't understand it either.
It's all good though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you said,
I think
just
it's I
funny.
don't get it. I think it's actually kind of humorous, but
I
it is what it
agree. I agree.
but yeah, you were asking me something earlier, and my ADD, like I said, kicked in, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Well, one of the things so I want to say here, I have the chat open up, and I want to say that, man, you are getting smothered in love from your subscribers that are coming in. Oh my gosh,
I didn't know that. Wait,
many.
hold on. Where? I didn't know that this was like live right now. Wait,
Oh, good thing.
Let me pull it up.
I apologize. I thought I made that
I didn't know
clear
where
originally.
it was. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Is it Twitch?
No,
Or
it's
is it
YouTube.
YouTube?
Just type in Jacob Restituto.
Okay, I know your channel. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, pull up the chat so you can see.
Thing.
There are so many people,
now.
so many people that are making like just. We love her.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm so excited. Oh, she's so pretty.
I can't. Oh my gosh, I cannot. I legit, I did not know you were actually live.
Oh, I apologize. Good thing we didn't see. Good thing we didn't
Catherine!
get. Yeah.
Sorry, Catherine's one of my mods on my channel.
Oh, there you go.
Flyerski Fly, Cookie Dough. Oh, hi, Grace. Oh, you guys are the sweetest. Hi, Grace. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. I had no idea. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid.
No. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe I wasn't clear about that.
You said live, and I'm just thinking recording. Like I didn't know like live.
That's all good.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So they're loving it. They send you all I think it's pronounced Borahe.
Yeah,
the purple
Borahe.
hearts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you guys. I love her lipstick. I just found a lipstick that I like, so I started actually wearing lipstick in my videos.
There you go.
Thanks, Grace. Thanks for noticing. Thank you, Flyerski Fly.
Well, no, it's all good. It's all good. So now you can see the questions too.
Yeah.
So what are some of the? How do you decide? Okay, how do you decide with a group like BTS? They have 250 songs. How do you decide what song you're gonna do next? Okay. Oh, also, you're also coming up. I see you have 974 videos. What are you gonna do for your 1,000th video?
Honestly, I didn't know.
You got 26 left.
The first time I ever knew that.
26. Come on. What do you got?
What? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, I have a lot of albums here, so I'm definitely gonna have to do a giveaway for like
1,000 albums.
Giveaway. Oh, I mean, calm down. Calm down now. I don't know about all that. How's Taco? Taco is good. Taco's in the other room. Taco's my cat, by the way.
Okay. I did not realize that.
Actually, if I'm not wrong, Catherine was the one who gave me that beautiful necklace with my
Oh, that's great. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
At least I think that was Catherine. If I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, 1,000th video. Yeah, I have no idea. But we're definitely going to do some sort of giveaway because that's amazing.
Absolutely. Okay. You got to celebrate that.
But what did you ask right before that?
For groups that have such a big discography, is it pronounced discography or
discography? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Such an odd word.
Yeah, discography.
Because disco's in it, but you don't actually say it like that.
No. Discography.
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 Yeah, discography.
Yeah, okay, it was Catherine. Hallelujah, I got that right. Okay, good. Thank you, Catherine. So yes, basically what I did with BTS was, remember, the only thing I'd ever reacted to on my channel was EXO. And then I was just like, okay, let me see what BTS is about. Oh God, I only have EXO-Ls that watch my channel. I hope I'm not gonna get like drug in the comments. And it's funny because actually when I first started reacting to BTS, I got hate from both sides. I got hate from EXO-Ls and from ARMY. I had EXO-Ls were like, I'm unsubscribing. Why would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Then I got hate from ARMY saying, we don't want you here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I just want to hear great music.
It doesn't
I know.
That boggles me. I don't understand that.
I will never understand that ever. Yeah.
Because they own you.
You
didn't realize that? They own you. It's like, what?
I know, it's crazy.
People are funny.
Oh, and Catherine's was also the one that got me the winged statue of my little dog with the
Oh,
crown.
that's so
Catherine's
cool.
sweet. Anyway, sorry, I
Yeah,
was looking at that.
Catherine's the top notch, man.
Yeah, that's why she's one of the mods on my channel. She's
Legit.
amazing. She's one of my OGs. Once I immediately started getting into to BTS, she's been pretty much there from the beginning of that.
I love
But yeah,
that.
so I started with Fake Love because that was the one thing I had actually seen of theirs before was Fake Love. I'm pretty sure. Was it Fake Love? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I started with that, saying this is going to be just more like a commentary because I have watched this once before, but I don't really know anything about it. And so I did that video, got some responses, decided to do a second video, which was, I believe it was DNA, which was my first video of not knowing what I'm doing. After that, I believe people were just like, you should check out who they are. So that's when I checked out who is BTS, and From Nobodies to Legends Part 1 and Part 2. This is before This Is BTS by XLS was out. So I did her Nobodies to Legends videos instead. And then from there, everyone was talking about their storyline. And so, this is back when I would only upload maybe like one video a week, which I still do because I react to so many different groups. For each group, I try to, like each group I super stand, like my EXO, my BTS, of course. I still do like one a week, but I'm also doing other videos throughout that week as well. I usually still do about one a day. Sometimes I might skip one day. But then I also have videos on the Patreon happening throughout the week as well. So, and every now and then I'll do like a little, they're called quick sips, which is just like a little quick me going on live on Patreon just for the patrons of like something exclusive. Like I just did the little Tiny Ton Dynamite thing for like a little quick sip just for them. Cause it's not a long video. So it's not something I want to post a full video about, just a little quickie. So since it's like a tea time, it's like a spin-off, a little quick sip.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah. That's great. I love the branding.
Yeah. There I go. ADD out again. Okay. So then from there, everyone was telling me about
doing great.
Storyline.
You're creative. That's what it is. You're just
yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. So everyone was telling me about the storyline. So I was like, well, then let's do this. I love concepts. I love a storyline. I love trying to figure out what the heck is happening and going on. And everyone was talking about how complicated and just super detailed their storyline was. And I'm like, well, let's do this. And I did. I literally dove straight into the storyline even before I checked out their entire discography. So yeah, I got into their entire BTS universe, reacted to the whole thing by myself. And I finished reacting to their, all of their stuff right the day before the day of Boy With Love came out. And that came out in 2019. Right? Yeah. And that's basically when I was done with the storyline. Then from there, I kind of just started diving into their actual albums and starting from the beginning. And I've done their entire discography, like doing lyric videos, album listens and stuff. Just, you know, I love reading their lyrics. Obviously, you've done lyric breakdowns for them. You can see how amazing their lyrics are. And it definitely just makes you appreciate them on a whole other level. You know what I mean? So it's wonderful. And then I got my friend Catherine, who's on my channel a lot with me. I just said Catherine. I mean, Caitlin, not Catherine. Caitlin, who's on the channel with me all the time. I kind of got her involved in it, and she's totally fallen down the rabbit hole. She has her own channel now, actually. No,
you gotta hook me up. We'll have her on for an interview.
Oh, good luck. She's like, you don't need to tell people about my channel. I'm good. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. Because everyone's like, what's your channel? She's like, you don't need to know. It's okay. I'm like, how do you not promote your channel? She's like, it's fine. She gets so shy. It's hilarious. So I got her to actually react to the entire BTS universe as well. So I've actually reacted to their entire storyline twice now. Once by myself and once with her. Wow. I mean, full-fledged, like, I have like all of the books, and I literally go live and I'm reading the book like an audiobook for people because sometimes people don't have the book themselves to read it, you know? So I'm like, hey, if you want to click on and just put it on the background, like you have an audiobook to listen to, feel free. But yeah, like we go in the storyline. So I did that. Then I did their entire discography, mixed in some fun videos, like their ship videos. And when we say ships, I mean appreciating their friendships and nothing more. Some fans take it too far, you know. But yeah, so we did the whole ship series, which is actually, I think, my most popular BTS series on my channel is the ship series, because everyone just loves seeing people just be close to one another without the fear of expressing that they care for one another. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know how it is in America. There's just so much toxic masculinity. Like, you can't, you know, give someone a hug without someone looking at you sideways, you know? And in there, they're so like open, and mm-hmm. they can cuddle and they can hug and they can, you know, it's not a big thing. And they're just basically showing that they care for one another. And it's nothing more than that. It's just, so it's beautiful to see it. I honestly think that the world would be a better place if more people were like that. Mm-hmm. So.
Very interesting.
But yeah, so from the beginning, I started from the beginning, basically, was the answer to that question. A really long answer to the question. Well, so, not really. I started with the storyline, then I went to the beginning. That's actually the answer.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So another question from Cam, shout out to Cam, says, for someone that introduces your friends to K-pop, is there any artists or groups that you would recommend I check out?
You've only reacted to BTS so far, right?
I've done a song or two of BTS. I mean, sorry, Blackpink. I've done BTS. I've done so many artists. It's hard to keep track of. But the main one would be BTS.
What type of music do you typically lean towards?
I mean, the music that I make is like alternative pop.
Okay.
But I like listening to I've listened to so many different things on the channel, and I'm open to really hearing anything, just because I like to get new ideas.
Yeah. I think if you're into, because like I said, I know you've done some lyric video like breakdowns and stuff, and so like you appreciate that whole aspect of things and what goes into it. And just hearing that you kind of like a little bit of whatever, because you know you're like a musician, so you appreciate like anything really. I'd probably recommend Stray Kids. Only because they
Interesting.
also...
I've been getting a lot of requests from about Stray Kids.
Yeah, so they a couple little fun facts about them is the leader trained for 7 years before he actually was put into a group, and the whole process of creating that group was a reality series called Stray Kids, where he actually got to pick the group himself, which is not heard of. Like, so the leader actually chose the members he wanted to be part of the group, and of course it had to be approved, and they had to go through the whole training process during the reality show, but he got to pick them and say, I want these people in this group. And there's 3 members that are called 3 Racha. It's kind of like a spin-off Sriracha, that are like the core of the group, that actually that's their production team. So the leader, Chris, Bangchan, Changbin, and Han are the 3, and they do the producing, the composing, the lyrics. They're the ones who put everything together. So from someone who is also a musician, you would appreciate that side of things as well. And since they write their own lyrics, they are like more personal. And it's their lyrics are very meaningful. Like if you even just watch their pre-debut, it's called Elevators. There's their pre-debut song, and just reading the lyrics from Elevator, you're just like, hold on a second, this is a pre-debut song on a brand new group. What kind of crap have they been through? Like, I mean, because it's way darker than you would anticipate for just someone pre-debuting. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So, from what I've been hearing, a lot of these groups seem to be like put together. Is that typical? Like that they're like kind of formed?
Yeah.
Which is typical. I guess different than like Western style music, right? Where I assume, unless I'm just naive to it, I assume that.
Well, even in the 90s, 90s.
Well, yeah, you had the boy bands and stuff. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, bands and stuff are usually, they come together on their own from like knowing each other and stuff. But these, if we want to compare kind of more of an apples to apples situation with like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Well, it'd be like, I guess One Direction or Little Mix, weren't they both like TV show?
Right. Together, they ended up being formed and put together by a competition. So sometimes you'll have that as well. Like for instance, N-Hyphen, which is under the umbrella of Big Hit, the Hybe labels, or BH, or whatever name that they're choosing to, I don't know. They're all kinds of branches now.
Oh my gosh, there was a big debate in one of my chats recently that I was having such a hard time following. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think Unhyphen is technically Hybe labels, but I could be wrong. That actually might be BH. Big Hit label. Whatever. They'll probably comment it in a second. They know more about all that craziness than I do. But and Hyphen was actually created by a show called Island, which was a competition show where they were competing every week to see who would be a part of this group in the end. So they still definitely do the competition groups and kind of form groups that way. But then there's also where people they want to pursue being an idol, so they audition to become a trainee of that company. So you can't just audition to be in a group. It doesn't work that way. You have to audition, you have to be accepted to be a trainee, then you train for who knows how long. Like I said, the leader of Stray Kids trained for 7 years. So you train for who knows how long until they find that you're ready to be part of a group that they are creating. So it's a whole process. And I think that's why they are so good though. Like this isn't just oh yeah, I just, I auditioned on this TV show and then they formed this group and now we're a group. No, like you work for years to perfect your craft. And that's why just the standard in K-pop is honestly so much higher.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. What do you think is like, so you talk about EXO being one of your like biggest favorite groups.
Sorry.
That's
what it is. Yeah. I was like, they'll correct me in a second. And Hyphen is B-Lift. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
No problem. So you talk about like EXO, for example, like being like some of your top favorite groups. Why do you think like BTS is the probably most known out of all these other groups that maybe you had like you react and break down on the channel? What do you think makes them different, or do you think like why I guess is my question.
Honestly, I think part of what makes them different, like groups now are starting to get more into like writing their own lyrics and becoming part of the process, but I feel like during the whole like third gen, sometimes even second gen, it was more, I think, tightly controlled by the companies. And once again, I could be off on some of these things, but I think for the most part, I'm fairly on point with this. But I think it was more controlled. For instance, EXO, there are a few members that contributed to lyrics and stuff on some songs, but for the most part, it was very controlled by the company, by SM.
So that's interesting. Yeah. You guys call it, like, I realize that it's called companies or CEOs, different than a label?
It's probably honestly the same. I think it's just terminology, honestly. Yeah, it's that's probably all it is I think they just call them companies there. So it's just what we say, I guess.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I just find that really interesting.
But yeah, so I think with BTS, I think the unique thing about them was, I think when they debuted, I feel like there wasn't a ton of groups out there that was actively so involved with everything that was happening and developing within the group. And a lot of the reason I think for it, as you saw, like they didn't have this big company. They didn't have all of these staff members, all of these people helping. Like they needed to do it on their own. Like, they had to be a part of it. They had to do it on their own. And that's, I think, why so many people connected to them.
Yeah. And then I think, not to add on to that, now that I find it's clicking a little more. When you have to do it on your own, you learn, you see, oh, this works, this doesn't work. As opposed to like when you have all this money behind you, like you don't have to like adjust or pivot as much. You don't have to grind it out. That's fast. They like really, really. No, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form the others didn't work for it, but like when you're the underdog, you work probably twice as hard.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that, because I do think that some people do get like an unfair judgment. Like for instance, EXO, a lot of people are just like, oh, well, they're, SM Entertainment, so that's why. Because before BTS, like EXO was every year top, winning. And then the table started kind of switching, and it became like, so it was like BTS and EXO were like here, and then it switched to here. And so now BTS is the largest group. I mean, huge, obviously. And now EXO's still the second largest group. And so I think a lot of people, because they came from SM Entertainment, which was the #1 entertainment company at that time, I think that, and having older groups like SHINee and Super Junior and TVXQ and stuff that were hugely popular come before them, and now they're coming in, a lot of people are just like, well, of course they're going to be popular because they have like they come from that company. I mean, but what a lot of people discredit the work that they did put in. I mean, when they first debuted, they were actually known as the first flop group of SM Entertainment. There was one thing that they actually did where, what was that?
Which group was the first flop
EXO.
group? Really?
EXO, Yeah, when they
Wow.
first
Okay.
like debuted, they had a very different concept. I mean, if you listen to their debut song, there's elements of rock in it. There's screamo in it at one point. Like, I mean, it's very interesting. And their entire concept is they're aliens from exoplanet. They each have superpowers. Their planet, the tree of life on their planet has been destroyed by the Red Force, and the Red Force is
Wow.
now here on Earth. So they've now come to Earth and to help us so that the Red Force doesn't do to our planet what happened to their planet. So it's like this whole thing, and which is it's crazy and amazing, but it's
That's
very different.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's when you're kind of reaching so far out there, and
Yeah.
even the sounds of their music was very experimental in the beginning. I just don't think a lot of people latched onto it at first, and yeah, they were considered the first flop group of SM
Huh.
Entertainment. But and then they came out with Growl, and Growl is now known as like the Korean national anthem because it was so insanely
Wow.
popular.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it's
God, could
it's
you fathom that, man? Just creating one of the biggest songs in your country. Oh, it's so
no,
wild.
that's silly. But yeah, to go back to BTS, and I just think because of the fact that they had the opportunity to be so involved, and because they didn't have a lot of opportunities that other companies and groups had, they had to put in all that work themselves. They had to find ways to get out to the fans, like she says in the video. So,
Mm-hmm.
putting
Mm-hmm.
yourself creating a YouTube channel and
Mm-hmm.
doing these little vlogs and these lives where you're interacting with fans, like
Mm-hmm.
people feel like they're a part of something,
Yeah.
and they feel like they know you on a more personal level because you're sharing so much with them as you yourself as a person, not just you yourself on stage.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, they really tapped into something that people were wanting but have never really gotten, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to that level at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been reality shows and stuff like that with different K-pop groups, but I think BTS kind of took it to a different level because of the fact that they were doing everything on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So there was just so much more involved and personal. And then with the lyrics, of course, talking about things that really need to be spoken about.
Sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
it makes people feel like they're not alone. Like it doesn't matter
Absolutely.
how big you are, it doesn't matter how much money you are. You can have anxiety, you can be depressed, just like the rest of us. Like money doesn't change that. Sometimes it makes it worse.
Sure. Money exposes
So
who you truly are.
yeah, so I just think
Yeah.
because of just all of those things, they've just naturally and organically grown bigger and bigger throughout the years. Yeah.
So fascinating, man. It's so
Hmm.
interesting. It's
Yeah,
so interesting.
it really
So,
is.
if we could just do a quick pivot to talking a little bit more about YouTube and your YouTube channel and stuff, like,
Mhm.
I would love to if you have any tips for like newer channels and stuff
Oh yeah,
like.
that's what you were saying earlier, and I totally forgot what it was.
Oh no, it's
Okay.
totally fine. This has been a great conversation, so I appreciate every tangent we go on. But I think it's cool when people that have seen some success on their channel is like starting out. Cause, like how long did it? So I think you have 27K subs. I think it saw something like that.
26, yeah, 26. And let me tell you, I swear it's like, I feel like it's been a struggle. Sometimes people just don't
Sure.
want to watch older white people react to K-pop. They're older white women, I should say. I feel like people just don't want to watch older white women react to K-pop. So I feel like my channel doesn't naturally like grow as fast as like maybe some other channels do. Understandably so, and that's okay. I love the community we have. So
Yeah, I don't
it's,
I don't
it's
get it either to some degree. In the sense of like I hear you because I felt like mine took forever to start growing, like forever.
yeah.
And then it kind of go into that whole conversation of I don't know if we talked about this or not, but like how much content you put out. It's like, is it even worth me to put out 4, 5, 10 videos a day if this person's
Yeah.
putting out a video a week and they're still getting 10,000
Yeah.
subscribers? It's like
And you know
what?
what?
But then you start comparing, and then you're never gonna be happy. But what were you
It's
gonna say?
true. It's so true. And I talk about that during my tea time sometimes. I'm just like, man, sometimes it's a bit disheartening. I'm not going to lie. And you try not to let it get to
Sure,
you. You do.
sure,
But it is a little
absolutely,
disheartening. When COVID happened, all of these reaction channels started popping up out of the woodwork because everyone's home
sure.
bored. You know what I mean? Everyone's sitting at home bored. Everyone starts reacting to stuff because there's nothing else to do. Might as well do this. And
Yeah.
everyone, of course, I think thinks that they're going to make money off of this. Like I said, that they don't.
Yeah.
But I think that it was very disheartening to know that I've been at this for
Yes.
this
Yes.
will be 3 years now, and I'm just now at 26K. But someone who literally just started
Yep.
last year,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can just tell, like, this person, they do not give a shit. You can
Yeah.
tell, like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just because we're reactors, like we can see it, we know, like I don't know, but sometimes you can just tell it. You know for a fact this is not on their playlist. They are not listening to this during their personal time. They are not spending their own money on this kind of merch. You can just see it sometimes, but yet their channels are blowing up. And it's
Yeah.
just like, damn, like it's a little disheartening because it's like, man, I actually like genuinely
Yeah.
give a shit. Like
Yeah.
this is basically a second job for me, even though I have a
Yeah.
full-time job, but it's more than just that because it's kind of just become my life now because I'm so into everything. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
I
little
think that
disheartening, but it's hard. You have to try to remind yourself not to compare yourself to the other stuff that's happening.
100%. And from what I've seen, honestly, I think that it's really it pays off in the end. You know, it's like it's so easy to get caught up in that, and it's like, hold on, if I'm playing the long game here, what does it matter?
Right.
Because you know the work ethic that you have, the oh my gosh, the community that you have, I like that. You think that those people that are growing and getting all these views have all that merch sent to them have commissioned photos of your puppy? Like,
They're the sweetest
no
people in the entire
way.
world. And
And
that's
like,
and that's at the end of the day, that's what matters
yes,
to me. Like I
exactly.
don't care if I have 2 people that watch me, as long as they're the sweetest and kindest 2 people that are there. That's what matters the most to me.
Yeah.
So sure, it's a little disheartening to see that like my channel's not growing as fast as someone else's when I clearly really do care about this. And I think it's pretty evident to see in my reaction. Sometimes I fangirl a little too much, I understand. But for the most part, like you can really clearly see I'm really paying attention to their content and their everything. So it is a little disheartening, but at the end of the day, I have to remind myself, like, who cares? Like, it's not like I'm trying to do this for a living. This is just fun for me.
And who knows after COVID if they'll even still be there.
Exactly. You know, ultimately, I know that I'm not going anywhere because I'm not just going with the trend. I'm actually just in this. So I know I'm not going anywhere. And in the end, I know my subscribers understand that. And that's what matters the most to me is this community that we've developed here and that we've grown. And yeah, it's that's my takeaway at the end. No matter, I need to stop trying to compare because ultimately I have like the best subscribers and community. They are just everything. Yeah.
I would agree. I mean, just even from this chat, man, I would completely agree with that. I would completely agree with that. So, wait, I think we went on another tangent, me and you.
We probably did.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. So I go live a lot on my channel, and like even when what was it?
I do too now. I do a lot of live reactions now instead.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can tell the editing process, the uploading process, like everything just takes so long. So just going live, it gives me an opportunity to actually experience it with them, especially if I have any questions like, hey, who is this? Or like, what's going on here? I can get an immediate answer and it just helps develop that sense of community, I think, as well. So I actually go live a lot more now as well.
Yeah, and I'll even go live when I'm like editing stuff. I'll be scheduling videos to post, and like they feel like they're getting like a behind the scenes kind of feel, you know. And they can see the screen and everything. But then here I am, like what'll probably take me like an hour's worth of work turns into 4 hours worth of work because I'm like all over the place.
You're constantly interrupted.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying I'm so used to this kind of conversation thing. It's totally fine. But what I was gonna say is so tips so somebody's starting, right, you know, like
okay, that's
like how would mentality wise, you know, practical, anything like that for somebody that would potentially want to start any sort of channel, whether it be reaction, vlog, or anything like that?
So I always tell people, number one, do you truly have the time to put into the channel? That's the very first thing. Because I really don't think people understand how long the process can take. I don't know. It depends on what kind of videos you're doing, of course. Sometimes it can be a quicker process than others, depending on exactly what you're doing. But if you're doing something where you heavily want to edit your videos, if you're wanting to put a bunch of content out, depends on the equipment that you have, how long it might take, because your processing may not work as well as you hope, because that's sure a factor.
That is such a big point. Oh my gosh.
It's so they really don't, like, they 100%. Really don't understand. 100%. Like, if you truly want to do it, you need to have like proper equipment, so it's like quality, not just you know, I just want to stick a video out there. I mean, of course you can just stick a video out there, there's nothing wrong with that. But
I think that's a great way to start.
What are you wanting? Like, you have to ask yourself, what do I want to do with this channel first? And do I have the time to commit to doing this the right way? and not half-ass it, because you never want to half-ass anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first question is, how often do you want to upload? What exactly you're looking to do? Do you have the time to do this? So that would be my first question, because sometimes literally between recording something, depending on, you know, what equipment you have, possibly downloading that to your computer, the files to your computer, uploading it into an editor, editing everything, exporting that edit, then uploading that to YouTube, and then creating a thumbnail for it. Like, it can be like a 5-hour long process depending on exactly what's happening. And I don't think people realize that. It's like one video can take hours. So yeah, so that'd be my first question. Do you have the time to commit to this? Because if you don't, and it's going to end up feeling like a job. And the last thing you want is for this to feel like a job. The last thing you want is to feel burdened, like, oh, I have to freaking make a video today. If it gets like that, stop it. Stop doing it. It's people can tell, people will be able to see, and you won't be genuine with it. You're doing it just because people want you to do it. Like, that's not what you want to do. It's, to me, I'd be able to see right through that. So yeah, if you don't feel like recording, don't record. Don't do it because people are expecting you to do it. Sometimes I'll tell, I just won't upload one day, and I'm just like, I just didn't feel like uploading today. Like, I didn't want to put on the makeup and put on my smile today. You know, sometimes that happens, and we're not happy every single day. Sometimes we just want to be in our PJs and not have to look into a camera and, and analyze something. We just want to be in our mood, and that's okay. We all have those days. You shouldn't force yourself to do something if you don't want to do it. My other question is, hold on, what was my question? This is what you want to do to be a YouTube channel. Yes. If you're doing this because you think it's going to become a source of income, stop right now. Of course, it depends on what you're doing. But even if you're making original content, you have to have the viewers watching it in order to, first of all, you have to have 1,000 subs before you can even monetize to begin with. Number one. Number two, you have to have enough people actually watching your original content to be able to actually make any money off of those views, because you know as well as I do that the money from the views is not a lot.
I just did a video. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I just did a video on how much I get paid per view.
I saw the thumbnail. I haven't watched it.
It is. Do you want me to spoil the surprise?
Go for it. It's fine.
It's 1/10 of a penny. So I need 10 views to make one penny. 10 views for 1 penny. It's so for every 1,000 views, I make $1.02.
Yeah, and people don't get that. Like, I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like a lot of people, because of COVID, I think a lot of people were like, "Well, this is an opportunity for you. I can be a YouTuber now." And it's like, think about how many actual successful YouTubers that that do this for a living and only do YouTube for a living, right? There's probably not a lot off the top of your head that you can really count. And I'm talking about like the big names that like have mansions and really have created like this YouTube life, like this isn't something that's it's so far and few in between. Like, so people are like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. Cause I think that's a lot of people's mentality is, I don't want to do that. I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, that's great. That's lovely. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but honey, have a backup plan, because it's just not realistic. So, I mean, I always think that people should, chase their dreams and put passion into what they're doing. But at the same time, if you're doing this just because I want to make money, I don't think that you're doing this for the right reason. So I would ask them that too. Like, are you doing this because it's something you are passionate about, you really are enjoying doing? Or is it something that you're doing because you think that you're going to become YouTube famous and make a lot of money? Because, so I would just ask them exactly what their intentions are with the channel and think about that a lot, because I think in the end, if you're just doing it because you think you're going to make money, you're going to get burnt out because it's not something you're passionate about. And then it'll show. Yeah.
For sure.
That's what I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, man. I think you're right. I think it's just not going to last because you treat it like a job. That was a great way to say it. Like, it just becomes like, why would I do this if I'm not gonna make money, or if you don't, if you don't love it, or have another, like, an end goal in mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think, for artists too, I think it's also a great way to get your name out there too. Like, that's kind of to some degree, part of why I do is like to my goal is to be a musician. And I love listening to music, and to some degree that's kind of the route I took. You know, it's like it's a music related thing to also
Right.
show people, hey, I'm also a musician too, kind of thing. You know, so
Right.
but
Yeah, and
it's so
I've always
fascinating.
actually had this conversation with my viewers. I said I think there's a difference between like someone who's like genuinely wanting to get into it and like, you know, for like the reactions and stuff, and really like if someone who's a musician and wants to break down like the musicality of it all and the instrumentation of it all and the composition and the production and the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics and really dive into what made this as popular as it has, with what, how did this get so
Mm-hmm.
many views, like is this,
Mm.
what's my take on it. I think there's a difference between that and then also saying, by the way, here's my other channel if you want to check that out, and then someone literally plugging themselves for like the first god knows how many minutes of the conversation, reacting to something, saying a couple things, and at the end saying, all right guys, thanks for the reaction, don't forget to check out my blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you literally are only doing this to plug yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you barely talked about what actually happened in the video. You didn't have any outtakes after the video. Like, to me it's just so see-through, but like yet these people have so many views. It's just like, oh Jesus. Like, yeah, so I think that there's a difference. I think it's fine to have another channel and to
You're
like
the
also
underdog,
promote.
though. You're the underdog. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You're gonna.
And so I'm because this isn't,
I say we are the
well,
underdogs. We.
because this isn't my full-time job, because this isn't something I'm trying to do for a living, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
big deal to me that like I
Mm-hmm.
may not have as many subscribers as other people. Now, if this became my full-time job, maybe I'd be a little more bitter. But because it's not a big deal for me. But that being said, I think there's a difference, like what you said. Sure, you're a musician, you do talk about your other channel and your work as well, but I think the balance of it and actually showing that when you are doing K-pop reactions, you are genuinely interested in what you're seeing.
Sure. Interesting.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the difference. Is a channel like yours where you're literally breaking down the lyrics, you're talking about it in depth, is different from someone who's like, oh, that was a cool reaction, guys, okay, and like, you know what I mean. So I think your balance is great. That's
Okay,
what
I was getting stressed, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my
No.
gosh, am I one of these channels that plugs the other?
No. That's what you want to see. No,
Oh,
not at all.
okay.
And you also
That's
do
funny.
other things on your channel. Like, you don't just do that. You know what I mean? So you've now started to incorporate this, which I think is fine. As long as it's genuine, like, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, it's just, but you can see those who aren't genuine. There's a difference.
So I'd love to know what are some of the channels that you watch. You mentioned you watch a lot of smaller creators, so maybe you can give them a little shout out if you want.
Okay, so the channels I watch a bunch. So obviously my friend Caitlin, who has a reaction channel, I watch her all the time.
The secret YouTuber.
The secret YouTuber that never wants her channel to be heard. Even when you type in like it's Caitlin and then like a dot, even when you search it, like you like it doesn't even hardly pop up. Like, you have to like search like Caitlin Shiny. Maybe you might find it. Like, if that. Like, it's so ridiculous. But of course, I would recommend Caitlin. Like, she's an awkward bean, but we absolutely love her. I also watch Fifi. Fifi Zappa Reacts. Pia and Mercedes. They're a set of sisters. They're twins. They are so like, they freak out. They fangirl. They're super passionate. I love it. I watch Austin. Sir Austin Reacts as well. He's actually a vocal coach, even though he doesn't really react based from a vocal coach perspective, because there's just a lot of people out there doing that. He's like, I just want to enjoy it. So, but he went to like Berklee College of Music for it, but he doesn't react as a vocal coach, but he technically is one. But yeah, so I watch him. There's a lot of small channels I'm just now getting into that are just now experiencing other groups that I started watching as well. Cedric Giggle is actually a like a filmmaker, like an indie kind of like filmmaker and writer. He's diving into BTS storyline right now. Actually, I have an entire Word doc on BTS storyline that literally lays out step by step, like with links and everything, in order what you should do to go through. It's like a reactor's guide to the BTU. And I emailed that to him, and so he's going through that now, and his commentary and breakdown is just absolutely brilliant, because he's not just breaking down the lyrics, but he's actually showing you, like, do you see the lighting that they used in this scene? This lighting creates an effect of blah 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 blah. So it's like he's coming at it from so many different angles, from the acting standpoint, because he's also an actor, from the filmmaking standpoint, the concept, the lyrics that are involved. Like,
Yeah.
I just love his breakdowns. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to remember everyone on the spot.
No, you're doing great.
Silly
I mean,
Pack I've watched for years. She fangirls a lot. She's hilarious. Love her to death. There's a lot of people like I'm not necessarily subscribed to,
sure,
but I always like dabble in, like, I'm constantly watching reactors, constantly,
which is fascinating because I actually do the complete opposite. I don't watch any because it's so easy for me to compare, and I don't like going on that spiral.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of the ones that I would probably watch are ones that like are doing similar content to me. You know what I mean? Okay. And like to see, oh, I posted that same video at the same time and they have 10,000 views and I don't, and it'd be like, well, why?
Trust me, that's happened. That has happened to me before in the past.
So,
it has happened.
So that's hard for me.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I feel like I'm 100% missing several people, and from the people I just mentioned, I know I am. I'm so sorry if I've missed saying your name, and you know that I love you. Nah. You know that I watch you. I'm so sorry. I'm literally, my mind's like blank, and I'm like, I watch people. Like, I don't even right now. Oh my god. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm blanking. I'm literally blanking on names. I'm not even going to continue.
Do you watch stuff other than reactions on YouTube?
Yes, actually.
No,
yes.
I didn't mean that in any. That was a genuine question. That wasn't sarcastic.
No. I know. It's just, I'm thinking of my answer to the question. The answer is definitely yes. I watch a lot. Jesus Christ. So I watch a lot of BL content, which is BL is basically just their TV shows or dramas or like K-dramas type of shows. But instead of the two main characters being a boy and a girl, they're actually a boy and a boy. Okay. So, and that's why they're called BLove, because it stands for, or BL because it stands for boy love. But so yeah, so there's a ton of, and I don't know if people are going to start commenting like I love BLs. But if you love BLs, comment it in the chat. But it's just, once again, I'm a very like open-minded person. I just think love is love. And I think that a lot of times in Western culture, there's so much toxic masculinity that like, you just don't see like real things, I think, happening a lot in like main media, like in mainstream media. And to actually see a show that focuses on two people of the same sex actually like developing a relationship, it's just, to me, refreshing to see and beautiful, honestly. Now here comes the boy love. Here we go. Hey, he asked. It's not my fault, guys. So I do watch. There's a lot of different like series out there, like TV shows and stuff. So I do watch, and they're constantly coming out with new ones. So I do watch a lot of that on YouTube because that's where you can like stream them all, is on YouTube and stuff. See, they like it too.
I see the comments coming in.
But yeah, so I watch a lot of that. I do watch other reaction channels as well. I watch, PewDiePie on occasion.
Really?
I do. Well, me and my boyfriend, it's funny because we'll grab a bite to eat. We'll go sit down in front of the TV and we'll watch like an episode of like Mythical Morning, or we'll watch an episode of like PewDiePie or Girlfriend Reviews. Have you ever seen that, Girlfriend Reviews? Where it's like the girlfriend breaks down. They're really funny. You should definitely watch them. Where she's like, this is not a review of Red Dead, or it was Red Dead Redemption. What is it called?
I think Red Dead
Redemption. This is not a review of Red Dead Redemption. This is a review of what it's like to live with someone who has played Red Dead Redemption. So it's like the girlfriend commenting on what it's like to live with the boyfriend who has been playing this game for the last blah, blah, blah. So like what the point of view from like a backseat driver type of thing. And it's brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. It's hilarious.
So you watch YouTube as like your Netflix and your Amazon and stuff, like? I
mean, kind of, yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah. That's what a lot of people say. Like I noticed that. I think I also noticed. Did I see your boyfriend on some of your videos? Yeah.
So his alt group is Got7. So he's in a lot of Got7 videos with me. He'll pop into live streams. Sometimes, well, he actually used to. He started a series with me a couple years back. I think this was towards right at the beginning of 2019. He started a series called She Don't Know KPop, because once again, I said I only did EXO, then I started doing BTS.
Sure.
And that's all I knew. So I literally don't know K-pop, I just know these things so far.
Sure.
And he was listening to everything at this point. He was like just consuming as much as he could because he thought it was the best thing ever. So whenever he would get into something he really liked, he would want me to react to it. So we started doing a series called She Don't Know K-Pop, and we did that for probably like a good year. I need him to start doing it with me again. But yeah, the We Don't Know K-Pop was it's so fun, and I got introduced to so many amazing groups that way. Stray Kids, ATs, Ace, all of these groups that I just love so much. Like I got into because of him.
Okay.
Yeah, CIX. Like yeah, so yeah. Can we get a BO with Jackson, please? Brian is the MVP. Brian's my ideas guy. Like he usually comes up with like the fun like sayings or like
Oh,
he
cool.
actually came up with the channel name. Because a lot of times I'll be like, what? Like, when I like am experiencing something like I didn't know was happening.
That
He's like,
makes sense. Yeah.
you should call it like say what? I was like, I totally should. That's
Yeah,
how
that's
the channel name
cool.
came about. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
He's
really
usually
cool.
my ideas guy. Yeah.
That's cool. So, where do you see the channel going from here? What's the goal? Do you have any goals for it? Just enjoying the ride.
Honestly, because like I said, I think maybe if I did do this as my job and I had it like a full-time thing, I would probably have more of like a goal set, like a legit goal set. But because this is just something I do that just makes me happy, that I love sharing with everyone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't really have like a this is my goal. Like
Sure.
like people post like, oh, like road to 100K. Like it's I no,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Yeah. I agree.
no.
I
So
agree.
this, yeah, that's not really like my thing.
I
I'm just
agree.
enjoying this so much. I just want to go with the flow. That's the reason why I don't even have schedules on my channel, because I feel like if I have a schedule,
Hmm.
like, and if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, like, I'm going to disappoint people. Even if I announce, hey, change of plans, like, not everyone reads your community posts. You know that. So
Sure.
it's like people are going to be like, well, how come you didn't do this? You said you're going to do this. And I just don't want that pressure, because once again, this isn't something I do for a living. This is
Yeah.
something I do because I love it.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I don't really want to say I have like a goal necessarily. Um, but that being said, I just want to continue building the absolute amazing community that we have
Sure.
built at the Safe Space K-pop place.
I love it.
And I just want to continue building just an amazing community and growing an amazing community where everyone, regardless of what fandom you're from, regardless of what group that you love, is just here. They feel comfortable and interacting with one another, and it's a place of respect and appreciation towards these amazing artists that put in so much work for us.
Sure.
So yeah, not an end goal, but just continuing having
Yeah.
fun and being
Absolutely.
passionate about everything.
Enjoying the process. Enjoying the
Yeah,
process.
exactly.
Absolutely. That's the probably one of the most important things.
Yeah.
And then one of the last questions I had for you is, what are your thoughts on, like how did your family react when you started the channel, or how did your friends react? And I would love to talk, if you could open up and talk about that, or whatever the case is. Did they? Because I get mixed reviews. Because like, so for example, so many of my friends like made sarcastic, "Oh, you making a YouTube video today?" And then that's what I kind of went through. And it's not like they were like, "Oh, you're a loser." It's just like the sarcastic comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I hear other people like I ask this question in almost every interview, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, my friends were super supportive." I'm like, "Wow, okay, cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm curious your happenstance with it.
So luckily, my boyfriend has been on board since day one. I mean,
Cool.
he's the one who told me that there's a guy in Busted who happens to be in a boy group. We started getting into EXO. We listened to EXO's entire discography together,
Wow.
loved it. He took the initiative to like research and find other groups that he also loved, bringing me into more groups and stuff. So thank God, literally, like if you were to, because we play music in the house all the time, at any moment, if you were to come into my house, you would hear K-pop playing, and it's usually coming from his phone. That's not an exaggeration. Even in his car, like that's what he's listening to in his car. So it's genuinely something. Thank God that both of us really, really like, and that he listens to on a daily basis, 100%. So luckily, in my household, I never had an issue with that. That being said, for my family, that first they were just like, what are you doing again? I think probably the biggest naysayer is probably my brother, unfortunately, because it's like you can't even understand them. I don't get it. I'm just like, and like you've listened to Spanish music before that you can't understand, even though we're Hispanic, like we still don't speak it. So what's the difference here? Like,
You're Hispanic?
yeah, I know, right? But
From
yeah, no,
where?
it's well, I'm half well, quarter Cuban, quarter Spaniard, and then half just American.
Cool.
But yeah, so the everyone in my family has brown hair except for me, my sister, and my cousin. So the females in my generation, it's like the gene skipped 2 generations from my great grandfather to
Sure.
us, and we got the red hair. But he was a full blooded Spaniard from obviously from Spain, but he had like bright, like orange, like curly hair, and we're the only 3 that got it in our family. Everyone else has brown hair.
Hey, that's cool.
Go figure. But yeah, between the pale skin and the hair, everyone thinks I'm probably like Irish or something, I'm sure. And not speaking it obviously doesn't help either. So
Sure.
but yeah, so he's probably the biggest naysayer. Even to this day, he's just like, oh, the K-pop thing again. Like I have one of our friends, a mutual friend of ours, started reacting on the channel with me, and he's just like, oh great, we lost another one. I'm like, shut up.
Oh my gosh.
God. It's just so annoying. He's like, great, we lost another one. My mom reacts on the channel with me. My mom, she gets it. She totally understands it.
Sure.
Everyone loves my mom on the channel. Everyone, she's hilarious. Like I can never have her on lives with me because I honestly don't know what the hell's gonna come out of her mouth. But my mom is honestly the funniest and most unpredictable person ever. And she is a blast to have on the channel with me. But yeah, so then, but my parents have always been just kind of like, that's cool. His friends at first were just like, what? But it's funny because as your channel grows and as you start getting more subs and they're just like, oh, how's that YouTube thing going? And you're just like, oh, I reached 5K subs. And they're like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, yeah. And now I'm like, yeah, I just hit 25K subs. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, isn't that cool? They're like, what, but you have like 25,000 people subscribed to you. And I'm just like, I know, isn't it crazy? They're like, huh.
Yeah, I love that.
Now
that is
the changing now.
best
like,
feeling in the world. There's nothing like that. Like it's like not like you do it for that reaction, but it's like when you prove that person wrong. It's nice feels being able to be so good, man.
And especially now that like they're seeing K-pop more in like mainstream now. Now they're just like, oh yeah,
you were an early adopter.
I saw that K-pop group that you react to on the TV the other day, and I'm just like, yeah. So now like they're seeing it now that it's something that they can not really understand yet, but they can at least like
appreciate, maybe
put like an image with what I'm doing now, and like they're seeing it in mainstream, so it's not something completely, foreign, so to speak. Being a pun intended, I guess, because they're seeing it in mainstream now. But yeah. Oh, 1 second. It's okay. It just said, "Are you there?" Hello. It just said low battery. It's fine.
No, that's good, man. That's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that your channel's doing well. I'm glad that I'm highly impressed with the community that you have.
Thank you.
It's so impressive, man, to see all these people come into the chat and say what's up to you and say how much they love you. So
they're the sweetest thing ever.
You're definitely doing something right, and like I agree with you. It's like the numbers they don't matter, and if you chase them, you're just not going to be happy. You know what? More so though, like it's like what makes like my stomach turn is to see these big channels that have 1 million subscribers and they get like 8,000 views on a video. And that really that's one of my biggest fears is to keep growing and just not have consistent views like that. Is like, I don't want that. You know what I mean?
And to me, I think when you see stuff like that, to me, that right there speaks volumes. That right there just shows that there's people that are subscribed to you that probably forgot they're subscribed to you because you're not, you've lost something that they came here for. You know what I mean? Like, and whether that's a passion, what you're doing, whether that's a change in content, whatever it is, you've lost something and the viewers aren't here for it anymore. So if that ever happened to me, I would have to take a step back and kind of like really look and see like, what's going on here? When did this start like happening? Like, what have I changed? What have I done differently? But yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Like, I mean, I guess it's different if you react to like a bunch of different things. Obviously, some videos will get more views than other based on fandoms. You know what I mean? Like, that completely makes sense. But no, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, that's one of these. Like, even just talking about that and saying it, it's like that's one of my biggest fears, man. It's like that's what I don't want to. that's why I'm like concerned to get pigeonholed into this stuff. Like, cause like I am a musician too, and I put out other content, and I don't want people to be like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. You know what I mean? It's like, and
Yeah.
then for it to like, I just don't want to be one of those people with all these subs that just doesn't get views. Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
like
And
literally makes my stomach turn.
because you do a bunch of different things, that is a fear that you would have naturally, because obviously you're going to gain a lot of subs if you start doing like consistent BTS content, but you obviously don't want to just be like a BTS reactor. That's not what you created your channel
Exactly.
for. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I get it. You don't want to be pigeonholed into doing, just this. But it also is grown, but doing this is what is also helping grow your channel. So it's like,
It's
it's
like a
finding
weird
that
catch.
balance.
Yeah, 100%. It's a super
Yeah.
interesting catch 22, man.
Yeah, you have to find that balance of
Yeah.
keeping the people happy, but also yourself happy. Or
Yeah.
once again, like I said, it's gonna feel like a burden. Like you're like, well, crap,
Exactly.
I've got to freaking do BTS today because that's what they want to see. You never want to feel that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the channel and just
Yeah,
have a
I
really great
appreciate
chat.
the
The best.
suggestion from people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, you have the best subscribe. We both have the best subscribers, and they recommended you.
They're
But these are the best conversations where I start off the conversation by saying, "Oh, it'll be like somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes," and it's an hour and a half later. So.
Oh my god, it's been an hour and a half. Oh my god, I didn't even realize.
So
it is. It's like legit 9:30. Holy
it's
crap.
9:30. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
These are the best. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure to make a new friend with you today. So.
Yes, you
Thank
too.
you so much. Thank you. Is what's the best way that they can support your channel? If they don't know your channel, what's the best way that they can support it?
Yeah, so I have if you just go to my channel, in my about section pretty much has, I think, everything as far as like, or even just like my little header has like all the little things there where you can find me. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram. I probably post on Twitter the most, I think. But also I have a Twitch where sometimes I will just randomly stream shows. Like we watched 10 Things I Hate About You the other day while I was doing my nails. I mean, just because
I love that. I love that.
I needed to do my nails, and I just wanted someone to keep me company. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I went on Twitch, and I just streamed movies, chatting with people.
Why
so
Twitch over YouTube? Because why Twitch over YouTube? I haven't gotten into Twitch yet, and I'm like, it's something that I'm like thinking about. It's just in the back of my head. So
only
like, why Twitch?
Because with YouTube, it's just so iffy with copyright. So doing a movie like that, I just am not 100% sure. And I did hear that Twitch has an agreement with Amazon Prime. So a lot of movies you can rent on Amazon Prime for like $2. So I feel I feel just safer doing it there. Yeah, and then I also I'm gonna start doing these interactive like games. Like, have you ever heard of the Jackbox games on PS?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing those with the subscribers, because all you have to do is give them the room code, and they can log into their own phone, and we can actually play games together. So yeah, we actually did that a couple of weeks ago. Don't you be stealing my ideas now.
No, can we share ideas?
But yeah, so we're trying to get our hands on a damn PS5, which is impossible. It seems. But once we get the PS5, I can get, because right now I only have a PS3 in here. But once we get the PS5 out there, I can bring the PS4 in here, which has like all of my Jackbox games on it. Because right now I just have Fibbage. So we did play it with the peeps, and it was so much fun.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we actually did it on YouTube. But anyway, but I also have a Patreon. I do a lot of things over on Patreon, and once again, because I don't do this for a living, I don't have like, there are tiers listed, but it's all the same. Like it doesn't matter what you do; it's just the same. So it's $1. It's just $1. That's all. But I do the BTS Run series, Bon Voyage series, EXO Ladder, Channel's Heart for You. I'm about to start. I think ATEEZ's Fever Road. I do the Kingdom episodes. I do all of the GOT7 stuff with. I just did the Working Holiday in Jeju Island. We did the all of the GOT7 Hard to Carry episodes and seasons. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff over on the Patreon, and it doesn't matter what you're there for. You're gonna get it all for $1.
That's great.
So yeah, you can always or like help support in that way as well. Yeah, and usually like the money for Patreon that I get, that's what helps go towards these insane shipping costs when I do giveaways and stuff like that, mailing everything out to everybody. That's what helps me actually be able to afford to give back and give away posters and albums and photo cards and all kinds of stuff every week. So yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody watching and spending your Friday evening with us. I mean, I can't even say that because it's Friday evening for you and me, but it's Saturday afternoon for some
Yeah.
people. Like that
Yeah.
blows my
Seriously,
mind, man.
crazy.
It's so funny. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Have a great day. Definitely go check out Say What Reacts, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on the channel. So I will see you
Thank you
guys in
for
the
having
next live
me.
stream.
It
Yeah,
was fun. Sorry to take up
absolutely.
so much of your time because I'm a chatter.
No, I had a great. I thought it was fantastic. So thank you
Okay.
so much.